Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name's Simone if you're new here. Today's video is going to be how I got this nice illuminating highlight base. So if you want to see how I achieved this makeup base, then just keep on watching. Alright, so in case you guys haven't noticed, I have a new backdrop that I'm trying out. So hopefully this works. I don't know, it's just my makeup station. So I've got like all of my stuff that I normally use behind me. And then in front of me here on my table, I have the bits and pieces that I want to use for today's video. So I'm going to get started. I have nothing on my face so far. So I like to start my foundation process by hydrating my skin. So I have decanted my, my Clinique Hydrating Gel because the bottle's almost empty and the little pump thing doesn't really work anymore. So I like to just pop that all over my face. I need to buy a new one. I just we're still in isolation, so I haven't really been going to the shops or spending money due to the fact that I haven't been working for 3 months. So yeah, so I just pop that all over, and then I also go in with a Studio Moisture Cream from MAC, which is again in a sample pot. This one I haven't actually purchased. I just got this sample just before we went into isolation, and I haven't been back to the MAC store yet to purchase it. I want to get that, and there's a hydrating water cream, I think it's called, that I want to get as well. All right. So I just pop those two on. I let my face kind of dry a little bit. If I'm not in a rush, I will sort of like do these steps one at a time and go for a little walk, let it like soak in. But for the sake of this video, I'm going to do them quite quickly. And then I'm going to go in with my MAC strobe cream. This one here is actually the body lotion. I do have the one that's for your face, but it's in my makeup kit and I'm not going downstairs to grab it because it's on my station because I have a client later today. Even though you can see my bag behind me, my stuff's already downstairs. So yeah, I just use the body lotion one. I've had no issues with using this on the face. And when I'm on sets and stuff, I do mix that in with moisturizer and pop it on like the arms and shoulders and stuff, and it's really beautiful. As well as I also use it on the face for clients too. So that just gives you that nice, like, gorgeous little sheen. And then the foundation that I use on myself is actually from Rimmel. This is the Match Perfection in the color 103 True Ivory. I actually am obsessed with this foundation. I love it. So use about 1.5 pumps to 2 pumps. And I'm gonna go and use a flat brush with this. With this one, I sort of like drag it on, and then I use a stippling motion to buff out all of my foundation nicely. I just want to sort of wait till this is a little bit dry. Yeah, and some people say to start from the inside of your face and work out, but I have the most amount of redness on my cheeks, the bottom section of my face. So I always start covering my cheeks and then I work up from there, because I find that this section of my face here is actually not that bad, and it doesn't take a lot to cover it. So I put the most amount of product where I really need it. And then I blend down my jaw as well. So I just use a bit of a patting motion and I pat that into the skin. I do also have a clean brush if I need to go in and buff it as well. I always keep one handy. Sometimes I will and sometimes I won't. But I just love this foundation. I find that it's the closest color match that I've found for one foundation, with the exception of my It Cosmetics CC cream. I find that that one's a pretty good match. Whereas like most of the other foundations that I've used in the past, I have to mix them. And sometimes they can be a little bit more pink on me. I find them a bit of a warm, neutral skin tone. So a lot of foundations go pink on me quite quickly, which is a little bit annoying. Especially the drugstore one. This is the only drugstore one that I absolutely love. Now, because I haven't cleaned my brush in a few days, maybe like 4 or 5 days, I am gonna use this other brush to stipple it in, just because I am finding that I'm getting a little bit of streak marks. And that often happens. When that happens, I know it's time to clean my brush. Now I get really dark in the inner corners here, so I am gonna put a little bit of foundation in that section on the bridge of my nose, because otherwise I'm just black, or black holes. And then I just make sure that that is really, really nicely like buffed into the skin. There's no creases, no bits missing, no uneven patches. And I think pushing the foundation into the skin is how I get that really nice, long lasting base. And the other thing I like to do is I like to get my Fix Plus by MAC, and I like to spray over my face and then buff it in again before I do anything else. Little fan. And then I just pat that in. Sometimes if I remember, I'll actually do this before I put foundation on as well, after I do my primer. Sometimes I forget that step. And then I just buff that in. Now I actually put 2 pumps on my hand, and that's how much is left. So usually I go with 1, but today I just did 2. So I'm about like a 1.5 pumps. Sorry, just gonna wipe that off my hand before it gets all over my jumper. It's absolutely freezing today, but the sun's out. It's so cold. And I'm just gonna grab my concealer from behind me. All right, so for concealer, I'm actually gonna be using 2. So this is my Maybelline Fit Me Concealer in the shade 10. So I'm just gonna put a tad bit of that there. Go back in with my paddle brush. And buff that in. I have very, very deep eye sockets, so no matter how much foundation or concealer I use, like without fillers, you're still going to be able to see the indents just because of the fact that my eyes are so sunken. So I'm just going to pat a little bit of this on. I totally forgot that this is a lot harder with nails on. I might have to do a brush. And I'm gonna bring that up into my darkness on the inner corners here as well, because this is a like peach. It's like it doesn't look very peach, it looks very yellow on camera, but it is a peach toned concealer. And it also blends really well into my foundation. So this helps to hide the darker circles. And then again, buff that out with this brush. Every time I do makeup on clients, I always think of like Edward Scissorhand because I'm always like, got everything in my fingers. I just don't like to put things down because I know I'm going to use it again. And I get the pimples with lumps, so this is literally a lump on the side of my face. So there's no way I can hide it. Like, it's just going to be a lump there. All I can do is neutralize the redness. Alright, so once I've done that step, I'm going to keep this brush nice and handy, and I'm going to go in with my Laura Mercier powder. And I'm just going to pop a shite ton of that on my brush, and then just tap it off in the lid. And then focus that under my eye. And all around my eye socket and next to my nose. Now you'll notice how I didn't put any powder like on my cheeks, and that's because I'm gonna go in with my contour. And I'm going to use, I'm actually using my contour as a mirror today. This is just the Australis one. And I'm just gonna use the darkest shade, which is that shade there. So this will be a bit more of a bronzing sort of contour. So I probably won't use a bronzer. And then again with the same brush, just use a stippling motion. Now I tend to not really use a lot of cream contour on my like bridal clients. I usually use a powder just because sometimes I find that I tend to get a lot of clients who aren't used to wearing makeup. And if you go and put cream contour on someone who's not used to wearing makeup, they just feel like there's a lot of product on their face, and it just makes, I feel as if it makes people a little bit nervous. So I tend to just stick to my powdered bronzers and contour things for my bridal clients, and then for like my photo shoots and events and stuff, I will use a little bit of cream contour, but not always. Actually, probably not as often. Maybe like 20% of the time. So I'm just gonna use my finger and just tap that on my cheek, just on the highest point. And then I'm gonna use this blush to blend it out. And I'm just gonna pop that up my cheekbone a little bit. All right, I'm just gonna zoom you out just a little. And I'm gonna go in with my Benefit What's Up highlighter. This one is in like a little palette, and it's just a cream. So I'm just gonna use my finger, and it's sort of a weird feeling. It's like a, kind of feels like wet powder. It doesn't really feel like a cream. And I'm just gonna tap that in on the high points. And then under my brow as well. Just gonna put a little bit of that on my Cupid's bow and my nose. Then I'm gonna go back in with my Fix Plus. This is the coconut one by MAC, and I love it. I use quite a lot at the end. And then I just let that dry. So that's how I do my base. I'm just going to put a little bit of eyeshadow, some brows and mascara on off camera, and then I'll be right back. So I'm back. I've just done a little bit of eyeshadow and popped some mascara, brows and a lipstick on. So So if you guys liked this video and you enjoyed seeing how I did this nice little natural luminous base, then leave me a comment in the comment section below. Also let me know what you guys think of my new backdrop, and like and subscribe to my channel, and don't forget to hit that little bell button if you guys want to see more videos like this, just so you don't miss them. Well, I'll see you guys next week.